Verse 2 says, "For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed with our habitation, which is from heaven." 3 and 4, Brother Barrow. 3 and verse 3, 2 Corinthians.
Chapter 1.
2 Corinthians 5.
Chapter 5. Okay, number 4
3.
3. If so be that being clothed you shall not be found naked.
And 4.
For we that are in this tabernacle live on them not for that who will be unclothed, but clothed upon that morality might be swallowed up of life.
Now I see that as laws, but it's self-same thing as God, who also is giving us the earnest of the Spirit. Therefore, we are always confident knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord.
7.
7.
For we walk by faith, not by sight. We are of good courage, I say, and prefer rather to be absent from the body and to be home with the Lord.
8 and 9.
Wherefore we labor, that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him. 10 says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he has done, whether it be good or bad."
So then, guys, if we go to now look into the text, I've put on the board, if you see it on the board, it says Paul's confidence. Assertion, for we know, indicates that believers' glorified bodies are not a remote possibility or a vague wish. They are a fixed reality, settlement facts based upon the promises of God. And philosophical speculation of a mystical mystery and fantasy. I says, I don't know, Tiffany, can you see from there on that board? Okay, so then you can read it. I said, but if we look at this, Paul is mentioning something, guys, that would certainly create a problem because folks would be saying, really, what is he talking about? And so I told you last week, he's talking about this body. And he's bringing to something to our attention. He said this body is what? Temporary. He said this body is temporary. And so Paul says, when we understand that, and that truly presents a problem, because my concern would be if we understand it, then why do we do what we do? If we understand that one day this body is going to have to shut down, it's going to have to die. I says, as a matter of fact, the end of this week, isn't it Saturday, with the eulogy for Sister McKinney? It's a good example when we will see her lies a body, but that spirit or that soul is no more. It's finally being clothed, and in its clothing, it's been clothed with immortality. It's clothed with something that's now incorruptible. So then if it's incorruptible, then what it says is, and our bodies then are corruptible. Our bodies are subject to what? Pain, suffering, stress, frustration. So our bodies are subject to these things right now. But in the near future, we won't have to worry about this. I said the second paragraph says what?
Oh, on the paper?
Yeah, you can see
The
it.
phrase that the earthly tent, which is our house, is torn down, refers metaphorically to death. As a tent maker himself, Paul chose to use the analogy of an earthly tent, a physical body, to describe the soul's temporary house in this world. A tent is an apt metaphor for the human body, which is a temporary home for the eternal eternal souls of those whose real home is in heaven and who are aliens and strangers in this world.
So guys, what Paul then is using, something that he does. Paul's a what? He's a tent maker. So Paul says if you understand a tent maker, it's what? It's only upward just a little bit. Then Paul says, then I take it down and then I move it to where I need to move it, right? And then I put it back up. So Paul uses our bodies, and he says, but they're only just for a little while. They're like a tent. But yet, what do? You know, I hear this so often, how much I love the Lord. But when whatever it is that you have or that you want to done, it becomes a priority. Did you hear me? It becomes a priority. I don't know, when you say you love someone, I thought that is your priority. Help me. So then it leads, and that's not just that in a relationship. When someone says they love you, then that means they make you first. And everything else becomes secondary. Paul is saying, well then if this is the case, you're saying you love the Lord. And if you love the Lord, then I want you to understand that you're in a body that's going to do what? Fade away. It's got to go. That body is going to go back to where it came from. It was something that no man has ever figured out how to do. It was dirt that God made alive. It was dirt that God made alive. And so he's telling you, because it's dirt, it's got to do what? Go back to the dirt. But we live like there's a tomorrow. We live like, well, God, I know you understand. This I got to do. When we fail to understand, let me try this. We do things so much our way, and then we call it, and then what we say is God accepted. God has told us what to do. And then what we do is we do all these other good things as if to say, God, now I know you accept that. How do you as a parent accept a child? Even though they may have done a whole lot of other good things, do you accept a child who's disobedient? Did you hear me? Right. So why would we think it'd be any different when God sees us the same way? I've told you what I want done. You claim you love me. Since you love me, then do what I told you to do. Anything else you do after that is truly a blessing. It's truly something to be admired. But don't neglect what I've asked you to do. Yes.
Well, we say, His grace is going to cover it.
What?
His grace is
Oh, we say, right, and I heard you. He said so. His grace picks it up. And I said, believe it or not, my lesson today is not on your Hebrews 10:26, but it is close to it. It really, really relates to what's going on with that 10:26 when he says, and if we continue to sin willfully, there is no more grace. And so often do we say, God's grace is picking this up. Here's my point, when do you know that you're out of grace? You see what I'm saying? When do you know that God's grace has ceased in your life? And you don't even realize that you're just going on. It's the idea of you cut off a tree branch. That tree branch looks what? Looks okay. It looks good. It looks like it's okay, it's all right. Until as time marches on, you finally come back and say, wow, the leaves are withering now on that tree. Then you come back and you finally see they're dead. But that little stump part is still alive. But eventually it does what dies. And that's why I said we've got to be careful with this playing church. I love the Lord, but whatever is priority in my life, well, God, forgive me, because this I need to take care of. When there's whatever God has asked of us to do, then we need to do it. And I've always believed this. when you do what God has asked you to do, you know that little something that you wanted to do? Did you know all of a sudden you got time to do that too? I like that. I like that. And what you say? And provisions are available too. Isn't that something? And provisions are available too. So often do we miss this. Well, I don't know. I don't understand why now I'm a little short. Well, because God says I can bless you. You said your priority is what it was. So enjoy your priority. Yes. Now, what you said, now you figure it out. Yeah, since that's your priority. But watch this. Paul says, but I understand my priorities. My priority is that I'm in something that's temporary. That's what Paul is saying. I'm in something that's temporary. He says, and not only am I in something that's temporary, but I want you to see this. Watch this. He says, for we know, back at 1, that if our earthly house, this tent, is destroyed, we have a building made from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Watch this. Paul says, did you all see the first 3 words that are important? For we know. Hear me? That's the main ingredient. You know. Why do you do what you do? When you know. You know where I'm to be. You know what I'm to do. But you do what you do anyway. Boy, that's dangerous. I've always said, then when something comes into your world, when you didn't expect it, now you heard the statement, now you're sitting there with your pants down. You heard that old statement. Now you're sitting there looking like, I don't know. This is the danger we walk into when we play this game. Because you're not playing it with nobody but yourself. Somebody say with God. God already knows your heart.
Right.
God knows whether or not you love him or not. God knows when something took precedent over him. God knows you don't love him like you should love him yet. You haven't got, I said yet because hopefully you'll get there. But he knows you don't love him yet. You don't love him like you're supposed to. Because whatever it's then, but when we have a problem, he's the first one we call on. We really remember him now. So watch this. I said that because watch verse 2. Watch verse 2. It says what in your Bible?
For indeed in this house we groan, longing to be clothed with our dwelling from heaven.
So he says, for indeed in this house we what?
We groan.
What's groaning? Who's groaning? What'd you say? So then he's saying then, don't you understand? Your spirit is disappointed when you don't do what God has asked you to do. But your spirit doesn't have the right to move your flesh. Your flesh keeps moving and telling you to do this and to do that. Your spirit is groaning. It's saying, no. Your spirit, watch this, where did it come from?
God.
Yeah, it came from God, which is in heaven. So it came from heaven. Watch this. One came from heaven, the other one came from earth. Yes.
But one thing that's bothering me, but didn't God give us that authority in our spirit to work over the power of the flesh?
We getting there because it's in that text.
Oh.
You there?
But help me.
Oh no, but you there. Yes, you're right. It's there. That's why I said, that's why I started off with my statement. If you love the Lord, he comes first.
That's right.
Everything else comes second. Your spirit is lining itself up with God.
Right.
Hear me? That's what I'm saying. And when your spirit is lined up with God, you groan when you're not doing for the Lord. If you ain't groaning, if you ain't having a problem with it, well, it is whatever. It is what it is. That's right. That's right. That is so dangerous. Because I'm okay. I'll deal with it. I'm okay. Wow. You're telling God you don't love him. Somebody said, well, I don't love him as much. God don't take a, God says either you love me or you hate me. It ain't an in-between. Well, I love you, but I'm learning to love you more. No, God says, love me more. You love me exactly like, watch this, when he says, for we know. That's what your text says.
Right.
So since you know, then your spirit is trying to tell you to stay closer to this than what you're doing. But what you're doing is, so here's your spirit groaning. But if you can't identify that it's groaning, that's what the problem is. Ever been embarrassed because your stomach, because you didn't eat, and you're someplace?
Taking a test.
What do you say? And it's quiet. It is real quiet. And all of a sudden, okay, you like, okay, and you say, what? You know, I don't want nobody to hear that. But watch this. With that, watch this. Now your body is doing what? Groaning. It's saying, give me, give me, give me. Well, your spirit doesn't make any noise. Doesn't mean it's not groaning. Doesn't mean it's not asking for you to do what's right. What I've always said, when you're dealing with the world and they don't know, you just let it go. But those that do know, and then you still do wrong, so you got to answer to God on that. You got to talk to him. I should have carried that other one. Then I said, until then, no. I said, that's it. So then watch this. If this is the case,
Before you go forward, did your Bible say in verse 1, in eternal in the heavens or S?
and the where?
Yeah, it
Yes,
does.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, because
That's good.
I just was thinking heaven.
Go ahead.
Not paradise, everything, but it says heavens. I'm just trying to
Well-
see. Now we have first and second, third heaven. Here, what is it? I'm just kind of confused about what you're saying.
So you're trying to say what does he mean by heavens?
Heaven, yeah. I mean. I'm saying, yes, it's happening.
Yeah. Anybody have an answer? Your Colossians says clearly we are to what? Keep our mind on the things above. That's your heavens. That's your heavens. That's your heavens. Paul is saying, for we know that if our earthly house, this tent, is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, but it's eternal in the heavens. So I just, Paul is saying, so what I want you to do is keep looking up. Keep your focus up. Why? Because there is that the heavens there are heavens, right? Right?
Yes.
Right? 3 of them, right? We got what? The first one is what? Right? The sky, right? And then the other one is what? The celestial, which is the stars and stuff, right? And then there's what? The third. Watch this. Been any of them? You see what I'm saying? How were they created? We went out and did some construction work on the clouds. We saw the sun of the let's go over there. They were made with who? With God's hands. So your writer this writer, which is Paul, is right. The heavens, he's trying to get us to look up, stay focused up, because Satan wants you. I can't say it enough. Satan wants you so bad. He wants to destroy you so bad. You are the instrument that God uses to turn his world around. Or to make this world a better place. He uses you. And so when we act ugly, that's why we can go to the Father and ask him to forgive us. Somebody said to Jesus. No, we can go to the Father and ask him to forgive us. Watch this, through Jesus. Why did I say that? Because we're getting closer to your thought. Because who's in us?
Holy Spirit.
But who's in us? Your Bible is going to say it's Christ that's in you. So then if it's Christ that's in you, then you have power. You have power.
No, but I was talking about authority, which is different.
What?
To me,
You have what?
authority. He gave us, you remember?
I can go there too.
Oh, okay.
But watch this, because
To me,
that's
they
okay
sound
too.
different.
Because even you can, that power is authority.
Oh,
You have the authority to tell Satan to do what?
get out of here.
Okay? Right. So that's why I said, so you have, that's what I mean by power.
Oh.
You have authority to tell the flesh, sorry, no way.
No way.
Now that he's out of the room, I remember you saying something. One thing about it, Brother Thompson, Jamal's going to be here at worship. He's going to be here. I'm telling you, I can tell you what, we can get ready to do something, but he's going to, I don't care how long but we're going to turn around, we headed back here. We got worship to do. I have to give him some credit. That's power. That's the workings that's in him that says, I know who my God is. I know who I serve. Nothing stops me or hinders me. You said I have to go early because I've been instructed Jim's not going to be here today. So I have to do, sorry babe, I have to leave you. You allow your spirit to take, that's power, to have authority. This is what I'm going to do. Well, don't you, I don't know, you want to do that? No. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to take control of the situation. This is where, watch this, your flesh says, why bother? Your flesh says, really, you don't have to be racing. Really, you don't have to be there on the, come on, what is time? But watch this, but your spirit, which is groaning in you, desires to be around God's people. It desires to be around, it desires to be, watch this, where is your home then? If we're not in heaven, then where is your home? And in the church? And with your brothers and sisters in Christ? Shouldn't that be then your home? Right, stop and think about it. And isn't this temporary? I heard about some what is it, down south, they're burning out all kinds of, have you heard of the churches? They're burning out the churches. Yeah, they're burning all these churches now. Yes. I couldn't believe it.
That's been going on.
No, but it's back at it again. They're doing it again.
But we're bound.
So-called black churches, you know?
Yes, they're burning them down. But so stop and think about it. These are the things that are going on. Yes.
You know, I'm a believer. If you use that term, Christ is in you. No, Christ was a man, man. Just because of my ignorance. You mean he's in me,
Right.
around,
Right.
like a man inside of me. You know, it's the, are you mean the characters of God?
Right, are in you.
Because Spirit, right?
Yes, because whose spirit is governing you, or should be governing you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to fix that, so please. Okay. That should be governing, isn't that the Holy Spirit that you said? Isn't that the Holy Spirit?
Answer to Christ.
Right, well, he only does what Christ tells him to do. So then if that be the issue, then it makes sense. I had to turn a little switch off. So then if that be the issue, then that's where we need to understand. When you stop allowing, your spirit is not going to say, hey, you're wrong. No, we don't do that. Your spirit is not going to say that. But watch this. But the spirit that's in you, now it touches something else. What is that? The mind. Right, the mind. So it touches the mind. The mind is saying, no. We we don't, no, I don't want to be here. The mind says, no, I'm not going to miss worship. No, I got to be studying. Should be embedded in you. When that don't bother you, then you got a problem. Then watch this. And then if it bothers you, hear me now. And then if it bothers you, and then what do? You ignore it. That's what I said. Then you make what? Whatever is your top priority, you make it your priority. But don't you dare blame it on the Spirit, because the Spirit was groaning. It was telling you it's wrong. It was trying to tell you, go, come on, let's go. But your flesh says, why? Well, why you gotta hurry? We're okay. So it ain't but, you just missed worship, so what? You just missed, but don't worry about it. That's what the flesh is telling you.
I was there.
Your spirit is groaning. Your spirit is upset, is disappointed again. Because here you again, you allow deception to overrule. Whatever you said was a priority, you allowed it to overrule in your life. That's what the problem was. Hope I'm making sense.
Oh,
Okay, so then watch this. Then he says, for in this we groan, watch this, earnestly desiring to be what?
Desire to be clothed.
To be clothed. What do you mean be clothed? I think I put some of that up on top, if you can read it. On top it says what?
Word clothed means that he wanted to be clothed with his heavenly home. You know what? Thank you.
Because he just said, Lord, that boy done changed 10 glasses. Okay, 10 pair of glasses.
The word clothed means that he wanted to be clothed with his heavenly home and fitted for it, just as though he was being fitted and clothed with a suit.
I wonder how that came in.
That's a constant phrase.
Where's those shoes?
I said, a suit and shoes.
and the blue sleeve.
That's a shame, but anyway, so it was the idea of, here's what your spirit wants to do. It wants to be clothed, wants to be home, and it can't be home. So it's constantly growing. It's constantly trying to remind you, come on. When do you make the one that you said you love number one? When you make him top priority. Because he won't accept number two. He won't come in and take you in. See, we say, well, you know what, I'm sorry. God said, you don't have to be sorry. I told you, either you love me or you hate me. Ain't no in-betweens. I don't have an in-between relationship with you. And I told you, when we start to see how real this is, before we close our eyes, and all of a sudden now we know how real it is, but it's too late now. Now it's too late. You know, I could have did this. Have you ever done something and you said, I could have did it a little bit, and I could have did it another way? But it's too late because it's already been done.
Yeah, that's hindsight.
Because of the, I'm just asking, I don't know. Because of the dominance of what we face daily, whether it's job or whatever, our spirit, it seems like our spirit is not as dominant as our flesh because we're more or less engaged for hours and hours outside of, I'll say, assembly, outside of being here.
But why ain't you also there?
Outside of being together.
You there. Why isn't our spirit as dominant as our flesh?
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. That is so on the money. Because you know why? What did your flesh do? from a baby, and it did what? It grew, right? It grew. And it grew around the elements of where it was. It grew in its earthly tent. It grew in the environment that it was in. And so you don't have a problem with it. You have what grown accustomed to your environment. Let me prove my point. You've got folks that have come out of some really, watch this, are living in some really bad areas that you wouldn't dare go into. But they have grown accustomed to that area. There's nothing really bad. I mean, sure, you know, man, all I can tell you is be careful when you're out there at night. Be careful when I'm out there at night. I don't even want to be in the neighborhood. But you see what I'm saying? But watch this. But watch this, because you're not a part of that environment. But watch this. But let's speak as a whole. Flesh, earth, this is your environment. You've only seen this. You ain't seen heaven. You don't know what heaven truly is like. And I don't care what preacher can paint a picture. You still don't know what heaven's really like. So watch this. But earth, you can tell me don't go into content. You can tell me don't go into watts. You can tell me, guys, be careful with that color. You can tell, you hear me? You can tell me these things because you've experienced them. Well, Paul is trying to get you to understand, but that's temporary. This, watch this, you also seen some of your homies die. You've also seen some of your loved ones die. So you know for a fact that death is real. Now that you've come to Christ, that's your one, for we know. That's your 5-1, for we know. Now that you've come to Christ, then why do you still do what you do?
Nipsey Hussle was accustomed to that environment.
Right.
Should been there under the conditions, or you know what? That's why.
Yet you were raised in the Church of Christ. Yet you were born in harmony. What? Yes, yet you were raised in the church. Yes.
Yeah, he was.
So what in the world? How did this happen? Because you stopped allowing your spirit to, just like you let your flesh grow, you stopped your spirit from growing. That's what we're talking about. See, your spirit needs to grow too. Yes.
Okay, so that's
No, that's good. No, that's
that's not really the struggle. When you say you struggle not against flesh and blood,
Yes.
the struggle seems like because of what we are, we're at a disadvantage.
I like that. So watch this. But he's trying to get you to understand, but you're not at a disadvantage.
I know you can just.
He's trying to get you to understand the power that you really have. Paul is trying to get us all, not just them, get us all to understand. You don't understand when you surrender yourself to Christ, the power that you have. But you don't let it grow. You still allow the environment that you're in to become president over your life. You still, this way, you know, I still go home to 15157 Rancho Baseball. And whatever you all's addresses, you still go to that, and I still see the same old. Yes, and you've conditioned your mind to that environment. But you refuse to condition your spirit to its environment. Yes.
That's why I still say that authority, if you understand that, and it's not synonymous with power. It allows you to have power, but I think it's a stronger word. That's what I'm trying to get understand. When you have authority over something, you're at the top notch, because that's what God gave you.
Yes. Control.
Right.
You have control
Right.
over what though? Over what? You have control over this.
Right, that's why it's
You're right.
over powerful word.
But watch this. But that controlling source, you only let it get this big. That's why you don't believe it.
Right.
Isn't our coming to Christ built on belief?
Yeah, we walk by faith.
So, hear me, that's coming in your verse 7.
Right.
But watch this. If this is the case, this is the issue. You won't let it grow up. You have accepted your earthly tent. You say, no, I know one day it's going to die. You stop lying to yourself. You know, no, you don't want to accept that it's going to die. That's why you keep feeding it. That's why you keep treating it. That's why you give it special attention. You bathe it. You clothe it. You feed it. But what do you do to your spirit? Hear me? But what do you do to your spirit? Well, I know the Holy Spirit is what some of you take your book and it's closed and it ain't back open till we have Bible study. But you saying, I'm feeding it. How are you feeding it? It's got to grow. Don't you know if it grows eventually, it will outgrow your flesh? Hear me. It has the ability to outgrow your flesh. But I told you, we didn't sit here and say we got old. And will I hear you, Brother Thompson? But you don't understand, I'm setting my ways. And Christ is trying to tell you, get out of your ways. And how do I get out of my way? It's called change. And you, watch this, and nobody, I'm going to let you hear, and nobody wants change. Nobody, I speak for the whole world. Nobody wants change. It's, watch this, when it affects the elements that you're in, nobody wants it. Yes, Steve.
No, the flesh appears to be stronger than the spirit. It appears.
Yes.
That's an appearance, but you know that the flesh is weak according to what Jesus said.
Come on.
But he said that the spirit is willing. He's not going to force you, but he's willing. So he was telling the apostles, he said, watch and pray.
Yes.
And he said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh
It's weak. What is it?
meaning that it's so weak it causes us not to want to come back.
Man, it's, come on. You come on, come on.
I'm feeling.
Come on, Steve, you there. I got work to do. This is still on my mind. I was watching some movie last night, and the movie stayed on my mind all night.
Turn it off.
No, but what I'm saying is, you see how it can take control.
That's fine.
Watch this.
Take it over.
I started up, I went upstairs, me and my wife watched, someone was watching everything, and then it ended. And then I said, okay, I dismissed myself, and I went upstairs and clicked my computer on. I said, let me get started. Let me get on some more study, a different study, because I was studying with the brothers ministry. I said, I heard on TV, I said, oh, let me turn, I know what it was. NCAA came home, the basketball thing. While I was there, turn around, next thing I know, I'm like, man, let me see this. 2 hours or whatever it was, 3 hours, I know it was a long time. I turned around, the screen went black. Did you hear me? Because I'm focusing on this now. It's so easily. Where would you watch this? They didn't win with you, and they didn't lose with you. No pain, no nothing. They didn't even know I was watching. Okay, you know what you say, but careless that I'm watching. But what are you doing? I'm sitting over here getting upset. I can't believe that was a double dribble. And how did you miss that double dribble? See what I'm saying? That was wrapping me up with stuff. I said, we already know who you meant to have there. But the bottom line is, listen to what I'm talking about. Where is the Spirit? Jesus. They need Jesus. So if they had Jesus in their life, then they would have been. But you see what I'm saying? If that hadn't been there. So now I'm thinking about how could they have missed the double trouble? You see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? And just wrote it out. This is what I'm talking about. We have got to let our spirit grow. Because you didn't have a choice. Your flesh grew. As long as you lived here, your flesh grew. Hear me. I said this to, I think it was Ira Long many years ago. He was struggling with finances, with growing up with his family. I said, brother, let me say something. If you talk about your children and what they don't have, I said, let me say something. The children don't know nothing. It's you. The children will live in any environment that you put them in. It's you. So what you want to do is quit blaming it on the children. If you don't like the environment you're in, then you do something about it. Then you come out of that. And here's what we are. Paul is trying to get them to understand. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. It's an earthly tent. It's temporary. Understand it. Quit trying to make it permanent. And somebody said, no, Brother Thompson, but we know it's not permanent. No, you don't. That's why you do what you do. Because you have made it permanent. That's why, watch this, I love God, but you know, how about this? We all growing at certain levels of faith. How about that with this? We all growing at certain levels. You know, when God gets me there. Who came up with that when it ain't Bible? Who came up with that when it ain't Bible? So what are you talking about? That spirit that works in me, that spirit works in you. And last time I checked, it's the same spirit. It's the same spirit. And so watch this. Then it says, it's me. Do I want to grow up or not? It's me. It's me that have that control. I have that control. And watch this. And as long as the flesh takes control, I don't have control. As long as the flesh dominates me, I don't have control. That's the truth. I am truly out. Why did you shoot that person? Out of control. Why did you get so angry and so mad that you went out there and you want to, and watch it, y'all saw it's on the news, and the person chased the other person till they finally came off the freeway and got out of the car, and the person went out and got in a fist fight with him. What's causing that? Flesh. Flesh. Because the Spirit would have said, yes, you're angry. Let's get this in our heads. You can be angry. That's all, but just don't say it. Yes.
You're stating all the big things that you can see. Okay. But the things you can't see,
Come on, man.
that you struggle with, is where I'm like, that's what I mean by sometimes it seems as though, and I know it seems as though the flesh is still more dominant. Those are the things we can see. I'm not the things that we can't see that we have within.
Right.
Thoughts,
That's right.
things like that.
And then we would understand this. If we allow our spirit to grow, we'd understand that God is going to challenge us. He is going to send trials and tribulations our way. Those are the things that we can't see. It's simply a test. You heard him say it on there. It's simply a test. Watch this. And this is where we are. God is saying it's simply a test. Watch this. You can pass it. Watch this. If you think fleshly, you will flunk it. If you think spiritual, you will pass it. You will allow this to pass. Yes.
That's why he gave us those gifts. Fruit of the Spirit.
That's it.
We utilize those.
That's it.
I get more about get better off.
Maybe I need to do a lesson
I
on
know
it.
the difference. You know, I mean, like,
No, you
I used to
didn't.
go to drive and people cut you off. I used to really get upset.
That's it.
That part.
Come on.
I'm over there like I work on. I
Yes.
said, don't allow that to bother me anymore. My students said, why did that? Nothing's going to happen. But
That's
bad
right.
things, you just and stay and stay in control. Because the Bible talks about staying, being self-controlled, right?
Right, that's what he's talking
The
about
Spirit
here.
has to do that.
But watch this. But your Bible says in 2:4, see it in 2:4,
In this.
in this, we what? What groans? It turns out your flesh ain't never been of great value. It turns out the you is the spirit, not the flesh. The you is the spirit. But I told you, being in this environment, these elements, we believe that the you is the flesh. It is the flesh when it's not the flesh. The flesh don't make you. It's the spirit that makes you. But watch this. But when you don't go and learn more and more about the spirit, then the flesh will always dominate. The flesh will always say, you don't worry about it. You're okay. Oh, please. Let him get a little disappointed. It's okay. You know, he'll get over it. I heard somebody say to me, maybe you shouldn't be talking about us being late or not showing up. And I saw the truth. And not showing up. Watch this. That's exactly what the flesh wants you to do. Wants me to do. Don't talk about it because it creates a problem. Hear me? The Spirit says continue to talk about it. Continue to save that soul. The flesh says put it away. The Spirit says remind them. Constantly remind them. But they're going to have to see their maker one day. Constantly remind them. Ezekiel 34. What is?
Yeah, just going back to you were talking about spirit and flesh. I always tell myself that I am spirit. My real identity, I'm spirit. I'm just having a fleshly experience on earth.
That's right.
You know,
And
our real self is our spirit.
That's right.
So we know the truth.
And until we let go, it's going to take control. It's going to stay in control. It's going to tell you coming late. I ain't pointing at nobody. I ain't pointing at nobody. Well, it's but stop and think about it, guys. We have got to get past. We've got to let the Spirit take control.
That's why he says, pray without ceasing.
I earned my clothes Saturday. I didn't like what I had. My wife would tell you, I had enough time to earn a whole new set of clothes. What are you doing? And still get here at a quarter to 8. Oh, you don't hear me. What are you saying? My spirit. Let's get here. Come. Fellowship. Be with your brothers and sisters. My spirit says, so excited about being around God's people. Hear me? My spirit says, where are they? Come on, where are they? My spirit. My flesh says, who cares? My flesh says, see, this is what I'm talking about. They came all the way down here, where they at? You should hear me? My flesh said you could enjoy your breakfast that your wife made you this morning. But you hurry up, chopped it all down, and threw it down your stomach. And now look at it. Sit down here, and where are they? I said, my spirit says, why don't you pray to the Lord? You've got some solace, some quiet time. Did you hear me? But you hear me? When you allow the Spirit to take control versus, oh, y'all don't hear me, versus a stupid flesh. That's what he's talking about. For we now know. That's what he's talking about. This groaning. This is what he's talking about. This clothing. That's in your 2 and 3. This clothing. Dressing this thing up. And it's going to eventually do what? Die. I guess I better tell Renee what suit I want to be in. Because one of them suits I need to be in, since I probably should tell her the most expensive one I got, put me in that one. Okay? Did you hear me? Because what I'm trying to say, see how foolish I am. You spend all this to clothe what? That's right. And when do you spend, watch this, and when do you spend all that so that you can clothe this? When do you clothe this? Remember? When do you clothe your spirit? When do you allow it to grow up? When do you appreciate what God has done? God has brought you down here on the face of the earth for His purpose. But you say, I'm going to do your will, but I got to do this. I told you, it's the same way with a child. You tell your child to do something. They do something else. And it can be good at something else they did. But you as a parent said, but I told you to do this. So what are you giving, what am I going to get a whooping for? Because look at all these other good things I've done. You get a whooping for not the good that you've done. You get a whooping for what you didn't do. I told you to do this. I told you to make me real. There are so many people that are leaving this world as I speak that wish to God they could turn it around now. Lord, I've been there every day. Lord, I'd probably slept there. Lord, I want to, Lord, instead of me watching television, I should have fell asleep with your word in my hand. Do you hear me? I'm sure there's plenty that are saying that now. And it's too late. And you can't turn around now. And now you got to meet your Maker. And the last time I checked, it's eternal. Last time I checked, it's permanent. I don't know about you. I'm hoping I'm getting you to see. This is what he's talking about. Your spirit is groaning. It wants so bad for you to do what's right, but you keep doing what's wrong. Watch this, and then I got to shut it down. He says, and your 3 says, if indeed having been clothed, we shall not be found naked. Watch this. 4 says what?
For we that are in this tabernacle do grow, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life.
Looking forward to being at home one day. Looking forward for a better life. I can't say it enough. But we are looking for a better life. No, you're not. Anytime we go against God's will, no, we are not looking for a better home. But watch this. But it doesn't mean your spirit is not looking for that better home. Your spirit is craving. It is groaning. It is crying. Please, why don't you do what's right? But you got too much flesh in you. You're too carnal. I don't understand the scriptures. The Bible tells me if you pray to God, go to God, He tells me that the Holy Spirit will guide you in all truths. What do you mean? But I have to have a preacher. I didn't hear it saying have a preacher to teach you. I didn't hear it say that. It says it will guide you in all truths. That's what it says. It will help you to get the understanding you need. But your flesh said, you don't understand it, so why are you spinning your wheels? Why are you wasting your time? You don't understand this. Just pass that and go to the next. Maybe if you go to the next, it might make a little sense. That's flesh talking. Spirit is saying, no. Go get the information you need so that you can find out what it's saying. But that takes up too much time. Flesh is saying, yes, it's your will. It takes up too much time. Spirit is saying, but God gives time. God will let you, I don't believe God will remove anybody that's trying, that's working, that's adamant about serving Him. I believe God wants you here because He knows how messed up this place is. And I need as many soldiers down here on the battlefield as possible. Guys, it's time for us to take a wake up. I told you I didn't get no more than 3, 4 at the most. The bottom line is, even in my 4, I says what? Tiffany, God guarantees.
God guarantees that we shall receive immortality, shall receive our immortal house in heaven, guarantees it by the Holy Spirit. Paul had just said that he knew
Ephesians 1.
he had a house in heaven. He did not just hope that such existed, nor was he just expressing a wishful thought. How could he be so certain? Because of God, God has done 2 things for us.
And that's what we'll talk about, those 2 things. But Ephesians 1:13 says this. 13 says this. You do have a Ephesians Bible.
You know what? I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is.
That tells, we're not just saying about the spirit and the flesh. If you study and you know exactly where.
I love it.
But it also says
He
patience.
said, what?
We're patient.
In whom you also trusted. After that, you heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, in whom also, after that, you believed and were sealed.
What? You was what? You was what?
Sealed.
Told you. He said, you've been guaranteed. I said, was it a couple of Sundays ago, Revelations 20. I says, God's got a eraser. He put everybody that was supposed to come to earth. If you were in that book of life. Everybody. Everybody. The guy that killed, what's his name? Nipsey Hussle. Everybody's name is in the book. But God starts to erase. Because I've given you a choice. You could have allowed your spirit to grow instead of your flesh. But you didn't. You allowed your flesh to grow and you never let your spirit grow. It was brought to my attention. I did not know it. I had to go call my wife immediately when it was brought to my attention. But that man was attending the church. I said, I couldn't believe it. Grew up in Norman, the school in Norman. I said, don't make no kind of sense. What took you away? Flesh? Flesh? Wanting to be somebody? It took you away. Jason was in the class teaching Wednesday's morning's class. And Adrian says, so I haven't heard any of his music. Jason says, you don't want to hear it. I said, Jason, talk to me. He says, rap. He says, it got more cussing in it than you can think of. I said, that's what the flesh will do. And yet, you say, well, I'm doing so many good things. I told you. But you didn't do God's good thing. You didn't do it God's way. You did it your way. So when I get there, Lord, look at all these many wonderful things that I've done. And he says, and by the way, who are you? Mark your Bibles. We will start at 4. Mark your Bibles. Think about this, guys. This is some serious stuff. When we start to allow our spirit to grow. Because we sure have allowed our flesh to grow. It's got all kinds of immaturity in it. It's got all kinds of jealousy in it. It's got every ingredient to tear somebody down. It's got it in it.